Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing well. For today's video, I have brought another chapter for you all. That is chapter 3rd of NCERT, class 10th. Two stories about flying. So let's start with the chapter. I'll explain each line and that too with the meanings and everything in English because you have to write your answers in English in your exam, right? So let's get started. So this is two stories about flying. Let's start with the first story. All right. So the name of the first story is His First Flight. Let's see what happens in this chapter. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. So there is a young seagull. Seagull means it's a kind of a bird. Okay. Was alone on his ledge. Ledge means a cliff. Cliff means when a rock is like this, not exactly like that, but it is straight from, it is not like slanting, it is not like this, but it is like this. It is called a cliff. So imagine here is water, the below the rock, it is all water and sea, and here is a rock that is slant, not slant, but straight. Okay. So ledge means a cliff. I'll show you uh, just a minute. Huh. Here, this is a cliff, a ledge. So it is not like, it is a little bit straight, right? It is not like, the rock is not like slanting, but it is like something like straight, something a little bit straight like this. This is called a cliff or a ledge. Okay. So what happens in our chapter? A young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. Now, so what's happening? There is a bird that is alone sitting on a ledge, and his two brothers and his sister, two brothers and one sister, had already flown away the day before. So they are saying that the brothers and sister had already flown from the ledge. Okay, he had been afraid to fly with them. So now what's happening is, the young seagull, our main character of the story, young seagull, he was so scared to fly with them. He was so fearful. He was not able to fly with them. Okay. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. So now the writer is saying somehow. Uh, I don't know how, but this happened that what when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of his ledge. So when the our protagonist was our seagull. This is this seagull we are talking about. This bird we are talking about. So he was running from his home. His house is here. His home is here, and he is running from here. And when he comes here, he becomes afraid. He feels scared. He don't feel like I can fly from here, right? So that's what they are saying in this line. He had taken a little run forward to the brink means edge, like the corner, brink of the ledge. And attempted means tried. He tried to flap his wings. Flap means to move like this. Flap his wings. He became afraid. So he was scared to fly from the ledge. Ledge you already know. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath. So the great expanse means the vastness, how huge, how wide, how big the sea stretched down beneath. Beneath what? The ledge. So beneath the ledge, like surrounding the ledge, under the ledge, there was all, beneath the ledge, it was all the sea, the great expanse of sea. And it was such a long way down, miles down. and it was such a long way down. So so you can see in the picture that it was so long. So he was so afraid that what if he just goes in the water and not able to fly. So they are saying that the young seagull was afraid because this height was it's so great. It's so great height. It's a um, uh, very the height is very much there. Okay, so miles down. Miles is a unit of distance, like kilometer, mile. We say 1 mile, 2 mile, and miles down. So it was very long. The cliff was very high. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So who felt certain? Who felt so sure that his wings would never support him? The seagull, the young seagull, felt so certain. Certain means sure. When I say I'm certain of that I will pass in this exam, that means I am very sure. I know that this will happen. Something will happen. Okay, certain. I'm sure of. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So he bent his head. So he lowered his head and maybe in sadness and ran back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So he went back to his small place, the hole where he sleeps at night. Okay. Uh, Even when each of his brothers and his sisters, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away. So what they're saying this this is the brothers, each of his brothers, both of his brothers and his little sister, even his little sister was able to fly from that ledge. Whose? Whose means these two, whose wings were far shorter than his own. That means his their wings, the brother's wings and the sister's wings, they are also seagulls, right? Were far shorter. They were also very shorter, and shorter than whom? The wings were shorter than whom? Our young seagull. So the main character, his wings were bigger and longer than these two, than these three, his siblings. Okay, and than his own, ran to the brink. So these brothers and the little sister ran to the brink. Brink means edge of the cliff. Flapped their wings, flap, right? Flapped their wings and flew away. He failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. Now, how was he feeling? He feeling that he failed. He was not able to muster up, means gather. He was not able to he was not feeling the courage. Courage means um, uh, the ability to um, think that he will be able to do that. If you feel courageous, you feel confident that you will be able to do it. You will be able to do something. Okay, so the young seagull was not able to feel that he was just so afraid that he feels that he will not able to fly over uh, from that ledge to take that plunge. Plunge means jump, like this, plunge, which appeared to him so desperate. So it was appearing that plunge, that the flying was appearing to him so desperate. It was so hard, it is so difficult. I will not able to do it. So he's thinking like that. His father and mother had come around, calling to him shrilly. So now who's there? His father and mother had come around, calling to him, young seagull, shrilly. Shrilly means in a shrill voice, in a high pitched voice. High pitched means very thin voice. Like in opera houses, you must have heard they sing in a very high pitched voice, so that the glasses also break. So the voice is very, and it hurts the ear. The shrill voice. Okay, upbraiding him. Upbraiding means scolding him threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. So now parents came and they threatened him. They said that if you do not fly from this ledge, what will we do? We will not give you food. Starve. Starve means to not give them food. Okay, starve. If I say I'm starving, that means I am so hungry that I am not feeling well. I'm just so hungry. That starving means I'm very very hungry and I need food badly, to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. So till the time he flies away, they will not give. Only when he fly, when he is able to fly from that ledge cliff, they will give him the food. Okay, but for the life of him, he could not move. But for his life's sake, he was so scared. But for the life of him means that for his life's sake, he was saving his life, and he was so afraid of falling from, sorry, not falling, but flying from that ledge, that he could not move. Now he is not able to move. That was 24 hours ago. Now all this happened. His brothers and sisters were able to fly. Their mother and father has told him that he will not get food. So unless he flies, okay. So he was alone and he was not able to fly. All this was happening 24 hours ago. Before 24 hours before. This was the story of 24 hours before. Now what happened? Since then, nobody had come near him. Now, from that time, nobody had come near him. Nobody talked to him. Nobody talked to him. Nobody was caring about him. One day, what 24 hours happened, passed. Okay, the day before, all day long, one day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters. So, what was happening when brothers and sisters were able to fly? Sister was able to fly, right? So they are telling here that one day before, all day long, the whole day, what was happening? The young seagull watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sisters. So he watched means looked at his parents, how the parents are helping, and parents are helping his brothers and the sister, perfecting them in the art of flight. Perfecting means making them perfect. That means teaching them. Okay, so perfecting means teaching them here, or making them perfect to fly, teaching them how to skim the waves and how to dive for fish. Skim the waves means the waves are like this and they are flying over the seagulls are flying over the waves. Waves are here and seagulls are flying over the waves, like skimming the waves. Okay, right. And how to dive for fish. Dive means to get into water for fish. So they were searching for fish in the water. Okay. Um, or maybe they are uh, mm, just take the fish out of their from their beak, and they just flew away, taking the fish with them. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. So he had in fact, so his one of his older brother, what did he do? He catch his first herring, is a kind of a fish, is a kind of fish, and ate it. He also saw, devour means to eat. He also saw that the older brother also caught one fish and ate it. Okay, standing on a rock while his parents circle around, praising a proud cackle. Now the parents were circling around. That means they were gathered around him. That how well he has got, how he has grown up, and praising him with the proud cackle, with the proud voice. Okay. Okay, let's move on. All the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau. All the morning, the whole family had walked about. They were walking on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him and his cowardice. So the young seagull was taunted by the family. Taunted means teased, teased. Like when I taunt somebody, I ridicule them. I say that you are not good enough. You are just behaving so childishly. So taunting means teasing, teasing. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau. Plateau means a flat kind of hill. So not like a little bit flat like this, and more flat than this, a flat hill. Okay, midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him and his cowardice. Cowardice means the quality of being coward. Coward means somebody who is afraid and scared. Hmm? Okay. Um. Okay. The sun was now ascending the sky. Ascending means increasing in height. That means it was increasing in height. That means it was uh, going up on coming on the head. Like ascending means increasing in height and blazing on the ledge that faced the south. Now his cliff, young seagull's cliff, was facing the south, and the sun was shining. Blazing means shining on his ledge that faced south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. Now, why he has not eaten since the previous nightfall? Because he was not given food by his parents. And why did they not give him food? Because he was not able to fly. He was not able to fly off that cliff, right? That ledge. Previous nightfall means previous night. Okay. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge. Uh, then what did he do? He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge. So he again uh, came to the brink, means the edge. Like here he came again. He is coming here. He is coming here again. Um, and standing on one leg, he just stood on one leg, um, um, with the other leg hidden under his wing. He closed one eye, then the other, and pretending to be falling asleep. Pretended means he was acting to be falling asleep. He was not actually asleep, but he was pretending. He was acting to that I am asleep, that I am sleeping, falling asleep, that he was asleep. That means he was sleeping. Still they took no notice of him. So he was acting as if he was sleeping, but nobody took any notice of him. Nobody saw him. Nobody watched him. Nobody entertained him, or nobody tried to talk to him. Like his family. His family was ignoring him. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. Dozing means sleeping. Their heads sunk into their neck means they were um, the heads were inside the neck, a little bit inside the neck. Sunk is the past form of sink. So sunk was it is sunk. It is somebody sorry. It is inside, a little bit inside the neck. So head is inside the neck. Okay, their neck. So they were dozing very comfortably. They are saying. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. So he was just cleaning his feathers, or making an effort to maintain feathers, like doing something with his feathers. Only his mother was looking at him. Now his mother was the only one was concerned with the main character, the young seeker. Now mother was caring, and she was looking at him. She was standing on the little high hump on the plateau. So she was standing on a little high hump on the plateau. So what happened is his mother was standing on a little high hump on the plateau. High hump means a little bit protruding, or maybe like this. Hump means like this, something is plain and then it like this. So plateau is like this, and this is the hump, the part that is coming out of it. So, like you must have heard the camel hump. So, camel hump means like this, the part of his body that is a little bit coming outside. Okay, hump. So, her white breast thrust forward. So, her white breast thrust forward. Thrust means it was a little bit bent forward. Okay, now and again, she tore at a piece of fish. She tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet. So now and again means again and again she tore at a piece of fish, and that lay at her feet, then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. So what happened here? She tore at a piece of fish. So she was tearing. There was a fish at her feet. She was holding a fish below her feet, and then what did she do? She was tearing pieces of fish, right, and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. So scraped means she was scraping. Scraping means she was taking from the fish and just uh, keeping on the rock, keeping it aside. Okay, the sight of the food maddened him. Now, with his mother, looking at him, and with mother, mother has food in her claws, like the bird's claw has some food. Okay, food, and that is fish. So the sight of food, the sight means that he was able to see the food. Who the young seagull was able to madden means being mad. He was becoming mad. He was so starving and so hungry that uh, he was getting mad. How he loved to tear that food, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. So he loved to eat that food. He was so he was remembering his experience of eating the food so so well. So he was able to remember that experience because he was now very hungry, absolutely starving. Ga ga ga, he cried, begging her to bring him some food. So he was asking his mother to bring him some food. uh, Gav Kola, she screamed back deri- uh, derisively. Derisively means that they are stupid, they are nothing, like in a way that they are ridiculing him, or just scolding him in a way. Okay, but he kept calling plaintively. Plaintively means sadly, and after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. So what happened? But he kept calling. Sadly, the seagull kept calling. Young seagull kept calling. Please give me food. Please give me food, because he was begging her to bring him some food. And after a minute, minute or so means uh, after 1 minute or so means around that 1 minute or 2 minutes, something like that, something in between. He uttered means he said a joyful scream. A joyful means joyful, very happy scream, his mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. Now what did he see? The young seagull saw that the mother is coming towards him with a piece of fish and flying across to him. Now they were sitting on a plateau, and he was just left out on the ledge. The young seagull was left out on a ledge, that is a cliff, right? He leaned out. He leaned out means he came forward. He bent forward. Leaned out means bent forward eagerly. Eagerly means he was waiting so mm, so badly. He was so impatient, being impatient and bad and waiting so badly. Tapping the rock with his feet. So he was tapping the rock. He was so happy that I will finally get food. Trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. So he was trying to come near her. But when she was opposite to him, she halted, her wings motionless. So what happened now? The mother came to him, but she halted and stopped, and her wings motionless. The wings were not flapping. Wings were stable. Wings were not moving. The piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. So when the um, uh, food was just near him, almost within reach of the young seagull's beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then maddened by hunger. So so what happened? So he saw that his mother just waited, and his mother is not giving him food actually. So what she is doing? Let's say not come nearer, and then maddened by hunger. Maddened we already read in the previous few pages, right? He dived at the fish. He dived at the fish. That means he just jumped to grab the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. Now what happened? The fish was maybe the writer have not told us, but the fish, the mother has just threw that fish in the just open space. That means not in the ground but in the open space, and the young seagull tried to grasp him, and then he tried to dived at the fish, right? Is written dived at the fish. That means he's trying to catch the fish that the mother just threw there on in the space, not in the space. That means in the sky, or just outside. Hmm. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into space. And then a monstrous terror seized him, and his heart stood still. What does this mean? Then a monstrous means like a monster, very fearful, um, very it is a monstrous terror. That means very I'm becoming afraid of it. It is a monstrous disaster, like we say, like very huge, or like a monster. It is so uh, ugly, and such a fearful thing. Terror means fear. Seized him. Seized means captured him. Like he was feeling a lot of terror, a lot of fear at that moment when he was when he was just about to catch the fish. Now let's see what happens. And his heart stood still. Heart stood still is a way of saying is an expression that says that his heart was he was so scared that his heart um stood still. He just, like we say, we skip a beat. I just skipped a heartbeat. It's a way of saying that I was so scared. He could, yeah, or I could not decide what could happen next. I was so afraid. I was just shocked, so much shocked. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. But this this fear only lasted a minute. The next moment, he felt his wings spread outwards. Then once he was feeling fearful, he felt it, and what happened? He felt his wings spread outwards. Then naturally his wings got uh, outwards, and what was he doing? And the wind rushed against his best feathers, then under his stomach, and against his wings. So what happens? He just started to fly, right? He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. So he could feel the tips of his wing cutting. He was feeling the air on his wings. He was not falling headlong now. He was not falling now. Headlong means on his head. So he was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually to downwards and outwards. He was soaring gradually. So Soaring gradually means he was flying gradually downwards and outwards. So he was just like this, soaring gradually downwards and outwards. Soaring, by the way, means flying higher. Okay. He was no longer afraid. Now all his fear and all his terror gone away, and he was able to fly. He just felt a bit dizzy. Dizzy means um, a vertigo, you must have heard, or maybe he was not feeling very comfortable. He was just feeling a little bit uncomfortable, spinning around like that. He was feeling. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Then again he tried, flapped his wings once, moved his wings once, and soared upwards. Upwards means on a greater height. Ga 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 ga. His mother swooped past him, his wings making a loud noise. So now mother also started flying with him. So maybe because she was happy, he answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. So they were just expressing their joy that by screaming that he was now finally able to fly. He saw his two brothers and sister flying around him, curveting, banking, soaring, and diving. So his two brothers and his sister also started to enjoy started to celebrate his this little victory that he was able to fly from the ledge. For the first time, he was flying from the ledge. Curvating, banking means to fly like make one wing a little bit higher and the another wing a little bit like this. So he was just like you must have seen the birds flying like this, flying like that. So they all just banking. Soaring means uh, being high, getting into a higher place, flying higher. And diving means taking their fishes from water, their food from water. Diving is below water, going below water. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. Now what happened? He had completely forgot his fear that he was once what happened that he was not able to fly. He had forgotten that. He did not remember right now, and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. Okay, commended means he was applauding. Applauding means he was praising himself. Commendable, we say, right? Commended means praising himself to dive, soar, and curve. Shrieking means a loud voice, a loud, thin, high pitched voice. Shrilly also, shrieking means very much high voice in a shrilly. Okay, in a shrill voice. Okay. Shrieking also can mean shouting. Okay, shouting in a very shrill voice. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it. Facing straight out over the ocean, he saw a vast green sea beneath him. So what did he see? Flying as he was flying, he saw the green sea, greenish kind of tinge or color the sea had, and beneath him with little ridges moving over it. Ridges means a small kind of hills or land was there, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. So he turned his beak sideways. He was just flying and turned his beak, just saw everything flying as he was flying, and cawed. Cawed means make a noise, make a sound of cawed. Amusedly means very happily. Amuse you must have heard. Amuse means uh, to something of happy nature, something of joyful nature. So he was happy. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on the green flooring ahead of him. So they had, as we have already read in the chapter earlier, that he was the his brothers and sister and parents were landed on a plateau, right? Plateau means I have already told you. They were beckoning him to him, calling shrilly. They were calling him. Beckoning means they were calling him shrilly. Shrilly means in a shrill voice. Caw, 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 like that they were calling. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. So now he landed on the green sea. Um, that means where they were with their parents and brothers and sisters. His legs sank into it. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings, but he was tired and weak with hunger, and he could not rise. Exhausted. Exhausted means very tired, and he was very hungry because he had not eaten from one day by this strange exercise. So this was this strange exercise. The first flight was a strange exercise. And they're calling that extreme. They're calling this learning a strange exercise. His first feet sank into the green sea and then belly touched it. He sank no farther. He was floating on it. Around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and his beak was offering him scraps of dogfish. So his feet sank into the green sea. Now, green sea. Now he is also learning to swim over the sea. Then his belly touched it, and he sank no farther. So he was able to swim over the sea also, and no farther means not any more distance. So he once he was when his belly means stomach touched the water, he was not able to. He sank no farther. Farther means no more distance. He was floating on it. Now he was floating on the water. Around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scrapes. Scrapes means pieces of dogfish, and he made his first flight. So this is how our young seagull was able to fly from the ledge, right? This young seagull was able to fly from the ledge. Hope you understood the meaning. And if you didn't understood any of the meaning, let me know in the comments. I'll try to explain the meaning in a very simple way so that you grasp and understand the lesson completely. Thank you for watching. We'll meet in the next video.